Hey everyone, how's it going? Let me know if you can hear me well. Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome back again to another stream. Oh my God, I mean, this is crazy again. How's it going, everyone? Uh, Hi Ricky, so nice to see you again. So let's just start with this. This is going to be our last session today on this track. Um, so we have seen a lot recently. So let me just open my slide so we can begin super quick. And give me just 1 minute until my slides get open. Just they were not open right now. So there you go. You should be seeing it right now. So if you have not been with us on the past streams, give me just 1 second. Slide, no, you can do it. Nope. No, this one, share screen. Yeah, this one. Yep, if you have not been with us on the past streams, we have been talking about a lot about Next.js, about TypeScript, about React, introduction to some things that we were building. This streams, one of them was a quick introduction into Next.js, into TypeScript, into React. So we have seen what is React, what is Next.js, what is TypeScript, what is the difference between React and Next, some basic CSS, basic JS, and ES6, um, project structures of Next.js. We also have seen some tailwind a little bit. And yeah, pretty much we have learned what is React. We have talked about learning some TypeScript and some JavaScript, also learning some new ES6 that are just quick functions of JavaScript. Also, if you were not in the streams, we have a Notion that has everything that you need to know for each one of ours, for each one of the things that you should know for this stream. So pretty much we're building an application that is going to help Doge, like Doge the duck, to win the elections, the president's elections in all the world. So we have a Notion right here that actually shows everything that we are using. For example, documentation, we have the Next.js documentation, Shopsy, and UI. That is one of the libraries that we're going to check out today. Also Airbnb and also Upstack. Also we have some learning paths that we have for you to prepare. I think you're not seeing it correctly. Give me just 1 second so I can zoom it up a little bit more. What about this? Is that more readable? Uh, Let me know if this is enough, like soon for you, so it can be readable for everyone, you know. So yeah, pretty much we have been doing that. Also, we have a repository that you can take a look into. That one is a minute, so I can pass you the repo link. Uh, uh, there you go. You should be seeing now the repo. Oh, and here's the link of Notion. You should be seeing that on the stream chat. Also, we have the link for our repository right in chat. This is the repo that we are currently using. It is called Global Hybrid Next Voting App. It is just one repo that we're currently using for building everything that we need. So pretty much we're creating a voting system with Next.js to help Doge, the dog, to run for presidents. So yeah, we're using React, TypeScript. We're going to use Upstack, and also we're going to use Shutdown so we can have everything really neat, like so we can configure everything, right? So if you have not get into the app, don't worry about it. Just need to get into the repo link that is in the chat. And once you are in the repo, you should be able to create a new code space. Should be easy to go, like only if you click into this green button and open a new code space and open like a green button that is right here that says create a new code space, and that should be everything. So yeah, pretty much let's just continue with this. Let's just enter into our code space and continue with our application that we were building last session. Alrighty, so last session we actually get into a lot of things. Like we were explaining a lot of project structures on Next.js, also on how React works, introduction to React, project folders, project structures, also HTML things, HTML stuff, also how we can run a a Next.js application. We were trying to check out more stuff like user states and how components work on React and more stuff that we're going to talk about today. But while we start with this, let me know if you are already in the repo and you have already this thing open. And while I wait for your answer, let me just start by running this thing. So once you are on the REPL and once you are on the code space, you should be able to run your application if you just execute the next command, npm run that. I'm going to send the command right here so you can check it out. And once you are there, you're going to see something like this. Uh, like a white page that says, Doge, don't worry, we're going to beat Olong Johnson. And yeah, a little bit of context, we are helping Doge, the dog, the best candidate for these elections to win. And his long life rival, Olong Johnson, is the one who we need to beat. Like, and also Grumpy Cat. So Grumpy Cat and Olo Johnson are the worst enemies of Doge. So we need to help Doge to win the elections. And so to do that, we need to understand what persons think about Doge. So pretty much we're doing that. We're trying to understand what is going on with the elections and which one is going to be the candidate who has the most probabilities to win, right? So yeah, let's just continue with this. Until now, we have learned how to create components in React, how to use Tailwind for adding the styles to our dips and to our H1s and things like that. So let's just continue by building a more structure into our page so it is a little bit prettier. So let's begin by just removing all the stuff that we have right here um, and adding more classes to this div. The first one that I'm going to use is flex and flex uh, column. These ones are used just for using something called Flexbox that we're going to watch right now. Flexbox. And let me show you the link that we're using right now, Flexbox. CSS Tricks is a really cool page if you want to learn something like CSS things and front end and all the stuff, you know. It is super cool. It helps you a lot to understand more of the stuff that we are going to be watching today. One of them is understanding how boxes work on the web. So for understanding this, let's just open a new Figma so we can so I can show you how everything is working right now so you can understand how we're going to um, make all of our selections, you know? So let me share my tab right now and give me just 1 second until I make a little bit more zoom into this. And I think you should be able to see everything that I'm going to write right now. So imagine that we're creating our page right now. Uh, let me check an example. What can I show you? Let me think, let me think, let me think. Oh, I got it. Carousel, carousel.com. And let me just make a quick screenshot of this. Let's assume that we're building the Vercels webpage. Uh, let me just put this right here. Let's assume that we're building the Vercels webpage right here. As you can see here, everything like looks kind of clean, like everything is super in order. And we have like some spaces, like fixed spaces always, like I don't know, something looks like super centered horizontally, super centered vertically, and all the stuff. We don't have like things floating up in all this space. So yeah, uh, why it looks like this? Probably they're using Flexbox. And what is Flexbox? Flexbox is not more than one of the CSS models that CSS uses for making our layouts easier to configure. So what I mean with this is like all pages are not more than boxes, right? Like we can see right here. Let's imagine that this is the page that we're actually building. And let me use another color so I can add a border to this. And let's imagine that we're actually building this parcel page. This page probably has some components inside of it. One of them, we can say that is going to be the toolbar. We have like a toolbar here. We have another. Let me just make this a little bit bolder, bold, and let's add a new color like this. No, this is too ugly. Yeah, this one. Okay, yeah. So let's imagine that we have some components for this. Let me add another rectangle so we can just make this transparent and make this transparent. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's assume that this is the first component that we are going to check, and this is going to be our toolbar like this, and the color is going to be something like this maybe. So yeah, pretty much we're using a toolbar component. We also have like a little message, and also we could have maybe a hero like this, and more boxes like this, like let's call this out develop or something like that. Uh, what it's saying, this event is now showing up in the Google Calendar of Go Hybrid Schedule. Okay, thanks so much for saying. Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. Like, oh no, totally, don't worry about it. Let me just add that to and say that to the emulator so we can just check that out for the next time. But yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, pretty much we were talking about the components that the Vercel page has, and what I was going to talk about is like everything on our pages are no more than boxes, right? So as you can see here, there are more boxes inside our boxes, and inside those boxes we have more boxes that take care about more stuff, like you can see here, like this maybe. So, oh, and this one should be like a parcel ship, maybe. This one, parcel hero message or hero message, hero image. Let me just make this one. Should be a hero. And here we have the bulk message and more stuff into more stuff, right? Like the paragraphs, the icons that we're using, like a P like this. And inside this paragraph, we're using more stuff, like maybe, how's this called? It is called flag? No, it is called Airways. Everyone, Airwax. Is it Airwax or AWAX? Yeah, totally. like we're going to check that out for the next time. But yeah, let's just continue with this. So yeah, pretty much what I wanted to say is that web pages are no more than boxes into boxes, right? So how we handle to manage all these boxes and to make all our layouts easier to configure, CSS has something called Flexbox. Flexbox allows us to have our boxes and to apply some properties to these boxes so we can make these a little bit prettier and so we can configure each one of our layouts that we have. The first principle of Flexbox that we're going to check out today is um, flex direction. There are a lot of properties that Flexbox has, like let me just put it right here. We have like flex direction, we have justify, content, line items, flex route, and more and more and more. The main ones that we're going to check out today are just these ones: flex direction, justify content, align items, and flex route. And I think we're not even going to check out flex route, right? So the first principle is like, imagine that we are going to have a box, and this box is going to be a purple box. So inside this purple box, we're going to have yellow boxes, right? So each one of these boxes are going to be in a way that they are going to be, for example, like this horizontally. By default, all the flex boxes are orientated horizontally. So the way that these are horizontally, uh, this direction, or like the way that they're faced horizontally, is called flex direction, right? So flex direction. Flex direction property is taking care of just the way that we're trying to direct each one of the boxes that we're going to have right here, right? Like 1, 2, and 3. The main ones that I use always are um, flex direction row and flex direction column. So we count this one that is horizontally flex row, flex direction row. Whoopsie. Yeah, like this. Another way that we can use this for making, for example, vertical align items like these ones, like hero message and hero image, is called flex direction column. Flex direction column aligns all of our items to in a vertical way. So we have something like this maybe. And let me just put my boxes like right like this. So yeah, pretty much the direction of each call of each one of the items that we have right here is just called flex direction. And flex direction, we use it for saying, hey, I want my items to be um, to be directed horizontally or vertically or maybe on reverse or something like that. The main ones that we're going to use in this case are just going to be row and columns. And for example, for each one of the properties that we're going to use for Flexbox, we have some other stuff. We have more stuff that we are not going to touch here in this stream, but you can check out here on CSS Tricks. It is a really cool page. You can take a look into CSS Tricks so you can understand a little bit more about Flex Direction, but we're not going to touch everything on this in the stream, right? So, okay, that is the property that we use for each one of the directions that we want our boxes to be included, and how we can imply first, like all these properties, we need to add another property to our items, for example, to a div or to a h1 or something like that, that is called display. Flexbox is always going to be activated only uh, if we add the property of display flex to our boxes. So for example, if one box has not the display flex and we try to add all the properties of Flexbox to it, we're not going to be able to try to add them to our boxes. So yeah, let's just continue with this. Okay, so we have what how flex direction works, how um, flex direction route and flex direction column are working. So now the most important part that we're going to take a look into is how to center horizontally and vertically all things, right? So give me just 1 second so I can have a section like this. So this is going to be called directions. This is going to be aligning. So for example, if you have always wanted to check out how to center horizontally a div, this is going to be your salvation. So for example, if we want to align horizontally something, we have two ways. Depending on the direction that we're using, one of the properties that we're going to watch right now are going to help us. For example, aligning things horizontally when we're using flex direction route can be handled by adding something called justify content and using the property center. But if we want to center horizontally something that is in a column direction, we should use another um, another property called align items. Align items to center. So we can center horizontally each one of our stuff. And the cool thing about this is that align items and align and justify content are not only used for centering horizontally things, but they are actually used for where do we want our boxes to be aligned always? Like, do we want them to be always on the center? Do we want them to have a space between? Do we want them to always start from the start or be aligned to the end of the box? And this is why we use something called alignment. So if we want to actually keep track of alignment on Flexbox, we are going to check out how to use the justify content example. So in this case, if we want to use justify content to get our items to the start of our box, so they are always going to be like this, maybe. We use the property justify content flex start. If we want them to be on the end, we're going to use the property flex end. If we want them to have a space between them or space around them, we're going to use the property flex end. I'm sorry, the space between and also the property space around. So give me just 1 second until I make this up to the end, like this. Something like this. So for example, we have just like the flex start, we have flex end also. Also, we have a space between. And so on, so on, so on. But as you can see here, we have different kind of properties for each one of these stuff that we're handling. And if we want the alignment to work also on um, vertically, like handling the horizontal alignment of each one of them, we are going to use instead of this, give me just 1 second until I have this. We're going to use align items for handling the position of each one of our items. We're going to do the same thing for handling the position horizontally of each one of our items. This is going to be align items plus a start. Give me just 1 second until I flex start. Oopsie. Oopsie. There we go. We also have flex end. Same thing. We have space between. And we can continue with this. Alrighty, so yeah, pretty much this is how we handle the alignment horizontally of each one of our items. So as you can see here, the only thing that matters is the direction of each one of our boxes. If we want them to be, wait a minute. Yeah, I think so. Give me just 1 second until I check out if this is correct. Blah, 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 blah. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, yeah, this should be like this, I think. Does it exist when a column exists? Line content. Give me just 1 quick second until I check something out. Flexbox. I wanted to show you a cool page about a frog. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So you should be seeing now a cool frog right here that you can use for understanding. Oh my God, it's not in Spanish. Why is it in Spanish? I think it is detecting. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice. No, I don't want it on the Spanish. No, English. Yeah, cool. So pretty much it is a game that you can use for aligning each one of the items that we have right here. It is just like a quick frog. It is cool. So yeah, pretty much it says, welcome to Flexbox Froggy. Again, where you help Froggy and friends by writing CSS code. Guide this frog to the lily pad on the right using the justify content property, which aligns them horizontally and accepts the following values: flex start, flex end, center, blah, 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 right? So we have right now display flex, but we want Froggy to be aligned to the end of these, right? So we can use justify content, flex, and ta-da! We have help Froggy to be aligned there, right? So we're going to do the same things to justify our items of the procs to be on the center of this. So how do you think we can handle our procs to be on the lily pads on the center, right? So as you can see here, our items are on a flux direction on route, because display flex as default sets up the flux direction to be horizontal, right, as a route. So because we have already that, we're just going to use justify content center, so we can center horizontally, right? So now that we have this, we are seeing that we have three lily pads on the center, but this is something kind of funny because it is not actually on the center, right? Because if we try to use justify content center, we're going to see that froggies are not around, like they're not on the lily pads, only the yellow one. But maybe if we use other thing like space between, maybe. Okay, that is too much space around. Yeah, cool. So if we want to use the space around, as you can see here, is not that much data space between. So we're just going to keep doing that. And you can be playing this on your computers if you want. But yeah, pretty much we're just going to keep continuing with our flexbox, justify content, and using flex between, I'm sorry, space between. And cool, we have learned how to horizontal everything horizontally, right? Now, if we want to actually do the same thing with our items when everything is on route and we want to align our items vertically, we use align items. When we are on a flex direction that is horizontal or flex direction on route, right? So if we want to align our items vertically, we use align items for handling the vertical position of our items on our box, right? So if we want to use, if we want that the items to be vertically positioned on the end of our box, we want to use align items and right flex end. And ta-da, it's going to be updated. Then we want, this is a cool thing that we can use now. We have learned now how to horizontally align, how to align horizontally things and how to align vertically things, right? So if we want to do a horizontal or if we want to center something vertically and horizontally, as you can see here, what will happen if you use justify content center? But if we also want to align it on center vertically, we use align item center. So cool. Now we have learned how to align our things horizontal and also vertical. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Nice. Like I really like it, to be honest. It is a really cool game to play to learn CSS and also to try to get into CSS. So yeah, pretty much this is a really cool resource that I always like to share with others. So if you want to play it, here's the link on the chat. You should be seeing it now on the stream. Let me know if you're seeing everything and everything is good, like the sound, the video, everything. So yeah, let's just end this with this final level. So pretty much we need to align horizontally our things. So we can use align items space around. And we also, oh, sorry, justify content space around. And also we use the space around so we can have like the same space as the lily pads. And if we want to get our frogs aligned vertically aligned to the end, we use just align items flexent, right? So ta-da! There you go. We have finished with learning some Flexbox and all this stuff. So what do you think if we continue with our stuff? You can keep playing all this stuff so you can learn more about Flexbox. But yeah, let's just continue with this. So okay, so now we have understood how to use Flexbox for centering our stuff. So now the only thing that we're going to check out is, okay, this is the vanilla way to try to make Flexbox to work, right? So give me just 1 minute so I can use it right here. The only thing that I wanted to show you is that on Tailwind, we use other properties or order names just for handling the same Flexbox stuff. So the first one is going to be flex, how we can declare flex, and how do we declare display flex. Where is it? Where are you? Display. There you go. If we want to make the display flex as CSS, we just use the name flex. And if we want to actually use align items or justify items, justify content, we use just the keyword justify. And yeah, pretty much we use justify with the kind of way that we want, like justify content normal or justify content flex start or flex end or center or space between, all the stuff. We just use the last word um, from our property. In this case, being flex start, the last word is start. Flex end is the last word is end. Center, the last word is centers. Between, the last word is between. So as you can see here, we use it like that way, normal, start, and center, between, etc., etc. And for our line items, we do it like the same way. the last name of the property or the key of the property and the value of that property, right? So we say items start, items end, item center, item baseline, stretch, blah, blah, blah. And for the actual flex direction, we just say how we want them. Like, do we want it on row? Do we want it on row reverse? Do we want it on column? For column, we just use the keyword call, and pretty much that's it. That's how we are going to do everything on Tailwind, like a difference of CSS. So yeah, let's just continue with this. So pretty much until now, we have all this stuff right here, but we don't want it like being like all super weirdly centered, right? We want it in another way that should be able to show us all the cards of the candidates, and also so we can be able to look into the candidate information, right? So let's just go again into the code. Let me know if this is enough zoom or if you need a little bit more zoom so we can start with this stuff, right? So yeah, pretty much right now, we just want everything to be horizontally centered, and so it has some space with it, right? So yeah, until now we're using FlexCol for everything, and we're going to also say that the align items, well, items center. So all my items can be horizontally centered like this. And okay, so now we have all the information that we want. But now let's just change the position of our candidates, right? So let's just go here until our candidates information, and let's change the position of our cards, because we have all of our candidates right here, but we actually want the information of our candidates being in another way, right? We want it to be horizontal. And I think you're not sharing the code. So let me just go here and let's add some tailwind to this. Let's add flex. Let's add also flex route. And to our LIs, let's add a little bit more of colors to it. Let's add class name. Also, let's add maybe text3 XL. This is just for the font size. And for the font weight, we use font bold or font normal, font bold, or font light. And for the colors, we just use the name of the color, like sample blue. Text the color that we want, for example, blue, and a number, maybe 100 or 400, maybe. Okay, so we have a Doge, Olong Johnson, and Grandpicat, right? Let's add this as 300 and a background. Or actually, let's just use white, text white. And let's just use font bold and text white, and what else? Background blue 400, and when we hover this, let's change it to background blue 600. Oh, well, actually, we don't want anything when it hovers. So, okay, we have now colors for it, but it looks kind of silly, right? Like it doesn't look like that nice, to be honest. So for doing that, for making it a little bit easier, let's just round this, like round. I think it's rounded, I think it's called. Maybe rounded? Rounded rule? Oh, yeah. Let's just, oh yeah. And I think, okay. Give me just 1 second so I can zoom it a little bit more. Like this is more enough, or you want a little bit more? And yeah, I was going to show you a cool extension that is called Tailwind. Tailwind what? Intelligent. Yeah, IntelliSense. So let's just install this. This is a really cool extension because it helps you to take a look into like all the Tailwind properties. It is super cool. So now if we go into page.tsx, we can check out like all the colors that we are actually using, like this. The name of it is just of this extension is Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. Let me copy and paste it right now, right here. Oh, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. Yeah, this is the name of the extension. You should be seeing it now. And yeah, pretty much it helps us to check out all the Tailwind properties without needing to see the documentation. So if we go into um, rounded, we're going to have some values already predefined so we can use them. So if we use Embley, we should be able to see that they are a little bit rounded. And also we want to use shadow large. Shadow large, and what else? And I think that is enough, but let's also add some padding to it, like a padding 3 or padding 4. And let's add some space to each one of the items. So for adding the space, we use a property called gap. So we're going to add something like gap 12 maybe. And we want to also change the direction of each one of the cards that we're going to receive right here. So let's just add another div, and let me add all the cards inside the zip, and let's change the direction of this. So this is going to be class name flex and flex route. And add another, a little bit more of a space to it, like gap 10 maybe, or maybe gap 8. Yeah, like gap 8. And we should be seeing like these right now. Okay, so we have handle to change the direction of each one of our candidates, and also to make a button that says vote for Doge, right? The problem is that we still have no space between each one of the items horizontally. So let's just add a little bit more of a space between each one of the items horizontally, right? So for doing that, we should get back inside of our main div and just add the property of gap 10 maybe, or 12. Well, let's see. Okay, yeah, I think this is too much space. Let's make it 10 maybe, gap 10. And okay, yeah, from you, this works almost. This almost works. Yeah, this is what are we going to do right now. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like we're going to handle that. But until now, we're not going to do that. Like you got me there. But yeah, like until this was going to be the next step to get me there. But yeah, this was going to be actually the next step. So for now, we have just one button. We have already seen like each one of these items, right? But the main problem right now is that we are not actually handling these things pretty, uh, because each one of the routes that we're handling right here are separate, and we will want to each one of these titles to be at the center of each card, right? So for doing that, we actually want to do something else. We want to actually go here, click this tip right here, and instead of using an UL, we want a div or maybe a section. So for this section, we want to actually change the sync up and add our candidate info map and our candidates that map. And we want them to be, actually, we want them to be in a column, right? Instead of a row. We want this to be in a column because we want that each information should be able to see, to read like easily. And we want that instead of this being a div, we want instead of being an align or list item, we want this to be a div. So Yeah, we will be storing the votes in a database that we're going to check out right now. That database is called Obstash. So this is going to be interesting, right? So yeah, pretty much we're just changing the position of each one of our items. So we're going to change this to the candidate information. And now that we have our candidate's information, we want to actually add another div to this, like this. So we can just like this. So we can actually make this horizontal. So we will need another flexbox like flexbox, flexroute. And we want that same thing for our candidate right here in another div. Div class name flexroute and just close this and just move this like this. So now we want to add to each one of the what we want? Oh yeah, we want to add some padding to some margin to each one of our items particularly. So let's just add margin 2 for this div, and let's just add another margin 2 for this div too. So we can separate just a little bit this, and let's just change this up so we can see how it looks. And let's just justify our items, align our items horizontally. So for doing that, we need to align items center, right? Align items center. So wait a minute. One second. So we have our section, we have everything. I think I just repeated myself because we're on the same page. Okay, yeah, we don't want this actually. We want to put this up and do more CSS stuff right here. So for adding, we want them like this, but we actually want them, we don't want this, we want this. And okay, yeah, so we're almost on the same page. So we're from flex column. Yeah, it was just one div, I think. No, wait. I think I'm tripping almost. So for each item, for each candidate, yeah. So sorry for this. Okay, so we want the candidate info of all of this stuff, right? Yeah, so we need to actually change. Oh my God, so sorry for this. Uh, yeah, we actually want to just do one map for each one of our candidates because we already have like all the candidate info inside one card, right? So we want to change this to just the first map that we have so we can check out the cards of each candidate instead. So give me just 1 second because I think I erased the incorrect one. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we want to actually add a div here, and because we're going to add more things to process here, we're going to add a card, and actually we're going to add an h1 to this. This hello, and now that we have these like this, we're going to say that they're going to be they're going to have a class name. Oh, sorry, class name that is going to be flex and flex column. They're going to be horizontally spaced on a space around. So for doing that, we need to do align. I'm sorry, items around items center, and we want to have a justify center maybe, and let's just add Oh, you're not seeing the code. Is my vertical margin valid? Vertical margin, do you mean like your actual vertical margin, or do you mean like the like what did you what do you mean? I think I am not getting it. Flex code. No, we want this to be raw. So yeah, there you go. So okay, and yeah, you should be seeing this like this right now. So now let's just change a little bit. What are we displaying right here? So we're going to change this hello to actually candidate info and the date info comma index comma dot candidate name. And let's change this. So the width of this one is going to be full class name. So let's just add with full here so it has all the horizontal space that it needs. Let's just add a background of blue 800 maybe, and text white. So, oh, I think it's too much. So text white, text bold, font bold, so it gets a little bit bolder, and text 3XL, so it is a little bit bigger. And let's add some rounded, so the borders are a little bit rounded. So let's add rounded LG and shadows LG also, so it has a box shadow. And actually, let's change this to rounded empty, so it doesn't look like that bad. So we have flex column, item center. We don't actually want to be these item center. We want items baseline maybe. Wait just 1 minute so I can check something a little bit quick. More space to do. So we want flexible item center instead of being center. I want it to be just checking something out like items. Oh yeah, it's because this is okay. Yeah, so we're good. We're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Okay, yeah. The thing that we wanted to check out is this justify. So we can move it to instead of being justify center, it's justify around. So my items can be a little bit around of each one of them, and also to have a gap of 6 maybe. And also we want to have a little bit of the space between each one of these items, uh, like gap 2 maybe. So now it is kind of looking funny. Okay, it is not the best part that we have down here. Yeah, class MJ is just vertical margin, and class margin X is horizontal. Yeah. Uh, you should not be. You should not need vertical margin. I think with gaps is more than enough for everything that we're going to be doing right now. So yeah, let's just continue with this. As you can see here, the only problem is that GraphGAD is a little bit smaller. That is because we're not adding some class called min min height. Min height. That min height is the minimum height that our box is going to take. So for doing that, we can just fix the height of our box to something like 200 pixels, maybe. Yeah, like this. So with this, with our fixed height, we are going to be able to already have all of our information that we need right here. So pretty much we already have our cards for on Jensen, for GraphGAD, and for each one of the things that each one of the candidates that we're going to be using right now, right? So pretty much we have almost everything that we need. Let's just add more. Let's just center the name of our candidates, and also let's use um, add another color to our to the name of this. Let's just change it to something like this. Instead of having font bold, let's just use font medium. I think it's font medium. And also we want our candidate text to be center text, right? So text center. And we want our character to be a little bit rounded. So let's just add blah, 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 blah. We want this. So, okay, so yeah. So we want border two, but we want to have our border a little bit rounded. So let's just add rounded medium. And okay. So it is looking kind of funny right now. So okay, it is not that bad. So let's just add another quick thing. So maybe try to fix uh, how our images are looking out right now. So let's just add another class name right here to make our images rounded full. And let me check out how they're looking. Uh, okay, and also try to make our images to be a width 50 pixels and our height of 50 pixels too. Okay, okay, that is too little. So let's just make this 100 by 150, 150 by 150 maybe. And so for making our images not look like trashy or like they get expanded like super weird like this, like for example, Graphica is looking like kind of tricky. So let's just add another property that is called object fit. So we have object fit. So we have object cover. Object cover is the property of object fit cover, which is a property of CSS that handles that our images don't get like that starred, like tried, like they get like super weird horizontally and vertically. So now everything is going to fit our the size of our box. So now we have all of our candidates almost ready to go. So we have number of votes for Doge, 0 candidates, and so let's just remove um, the candidates box like this, and let's also remove this, right? So for doing that, we should need to go back into our code and remove this also. And we don't actually want to have a vote for like number of votes for Doge, number of votes for Grumpy Cat, and all this stuff, right? We want to actually render all the stuff dynamically, but we have reached almost an hour and 5 minutes of a stream. So what do you think if we go like super quick to a break so we can grab a little glass of water or something like that, so we can come back in 5 minutes? Is that okay? I'm going to assume that it's okay. So yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes. And in the next hour, we're going to actually try to check out how to fetch data from the server and how to fetch information so we can upload it and post it to a database. All right. So yeah, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay, we're back again. Cool. So all this preparation that you're seeing now is just preparation for making some kind of tacos called birria tacos, which you should be seeing right here. Like this is not that common to have like birria cards or food cards. This is a US thing. Actually, this is from New York. These are some of the most famous birria tacos that exist in New York. You can see all this meat, like this meat that is just it is not pork. It is actually like cow, I think, maybe. But yeah, pretty much it's just a little bit of meat that we're using. Uh, all this stuff that you're seeing here is like super tasty. It's like low key one of the best tacos that exist in all the world. But there are a lot of tacos right from Mexico. So as you can see here, we have already our tortillas. The tortillas are getting on the pan so they can get a little bit toast with all that grease that is right here. This grease is like it gets this color because it has like some kind of chili. But actually, all the tortillas are not like that spicy though. Like they're just like so tasty, and they get a little bit toasted, so they can get a little bit crispier. And we also add some kind of cheese to our birria tacos. So if we add cheese, they're called quesadillas. But if we don't add cheese, they're just going to be birria tacos. So again, if we add cheese to the formula, they're going to be called quesadillas. And if we don't add them to our formula, just going to be called birria tacos. And if we add a tortilla inside of another, they're going to be called birria volcano, maybe? I think so. No, they're going to be birria gringas, maybe. Let me just get that clear. We'll check that. Birria gringa. Yep, they're going to be called gringas. So as you can see here, we have our gringas that is just like a tortilla, the stuff that we have at the top, and another tortilla like at the top. So yeah, pretty much. What do you think about birria tacos? This is like one of the most popular birria tacos that we have right on Mexico. But this one is from New York, but there are a lot of tacos right from Mexico. We have some other tacos like asada tacos, like these ones. So we have asada tacos like this one, which are like more another kind of meat. We also have al pastor tacos, which are like some kind of specific meat that is like pork with a lot of spices and chilies and things like that. Something like a kebab, like a kebab thing. We call this stuff like it's like in this form, a trompo actually. So they are super tasty though. Like they're uh, one of the most famous tacos that we have right here. Oh, I love you so much, dude, Paulo. Thanks so much for being here. So yeah, let's just continue with this. Okay, so we were taking a look inside of our candidates. Um, oh my god, no seconds could be hungry though. So yeah, I will be sending you tacos on your Slack invitations and your Slack letters. Uh, so sorry if you're getting hungry. So yeah, we were taking a look inside of our voting app. So right now we have Doge, Olin, Johnson, and Graphicat with all the stuff. But the problem is that we actually want to check out each one of the candidates' votes for each one of the candidates that we want, right? So a thing that we want to do is to have a button for each one of the candidates. So each one of the candidates can send a petition to our database that we're going to use right now, and we can fetch the data of each one of the candidates, right? So for doing that, hey Luis, what's going on? So, so for doing that, we will need to go into our page.tsx, so we can go into our component and we can go um, into our card component, and let's add a new thing like a button right here, and it says vote for and the name of our candidate. So we need to add candidate name and our button, and let's add some CSS to our button, so we can say that the button is going to be of height maybe 10 and of width full width, so you can take all the space horizontally that our button needs, and the background is going to be blue one of 950, and let's add some text white with font medium. And make this all the stuff being, oh yeah, we should add this right into here, so we can have it like this. And what's going on? Which errors are we using? Are we seeing right now? Are we having some errors? I don't think so. Let's check out. Oh no, we don't have any errors. Okay, so okay, let's see. All right, so we have our button right now, but actually it looks like kind of weird. So let's just add another color. Let's see which one are the Tailwind's colors that Tailwind has. So we love slate 100, and we also have rounded. Now we actually want to take a look into the colors. So let's see the slate. Maybe background color. There you go. Let's see which are the main colors that Tailwind uses. So we have teal. Maybe a teal one will be awesome to use. So let's use a teal 900, so we can just insert it right here. Background teal. Nope. Background teal 900. And let's add some padding to this button. So we have a padding of 3 or 4 maybe. And let's use just a normal font. And let's add also flex direction of flex row, flex row, and items center, and justify center. So all the information of our buttons is centered horizontally and vertically. And just put this here. And blah 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 for graphic output, and also when we click into this, actually let's just change this to 600, and when we hover on this, it should be BG teal of 600 of 700, sorry, 700, and yeah, cool. And add another property so it can be rounded, MD, and our text needs to be a little bit smaller text, maybe. Yeah, there you go. So now we have our working button, I think. So we have both for Olung Johnson, but for Graphicat and all the stuff. The only problem is that we need to configure our cards so they can be automatically have a width. So what happened if we check out this? Vote for Olin Johnson, vote for both for Doge, and add a little bit of gap between each one of our items. So what will happen if I search gap? Okay, I don't have a horizontal gap, so let's just add a horizontal gap uh, of 6 maybe. I don't know if that is too much. Nope, it's actually correct. So yeah, now we have our cards. We have each one of the buttons, so we can check out vote for Doge, vote for Olin Johnson, and vote for Grandpa Cat. And as we were doing that, we were just updating the state of the vote that we have right here, number of votes for Doge. So we don't want to actually do that. Um, we want to actually update information to our database, so we will be able to update all the things that we're going to be inserting here. So right now, what we were doing was whenever we click in the vote for Doge button, we will add a handle vote that changes the state of the Doge vote's state. Then for each time that we do that, we will want um, to just update on one the value of this button, right? But we're not going to be using that anymore. So let's just put this up and this up and center our items horizontally and say that the height is going to be uh, expansion viewport. Rifle maybe. How do we change the viewport? Um, height. Let's see, high pixel, main content, fit content. Oh yeah, the screen. Okay. So let's just change this so the height should be instead full screen. So we can actually change this up. Okay, what is going on with this? Why our okay, so we have the date being this. Oh yeah, it's just a section, right? So the section also needs to be of high full. So yeah, there you go. Nice. So now we have our items horizontally and vertically aligned. So now we have our Doge boats and our Olin Johnson and Grumpy Cat boats. Let's just change finally the colors of our text that we have right here in our card. So let's go back into index.tsx so we can change the color of our cards to teal, teal 200 or 300, and the number of boats to 200 maybe, so it is a little bit more visible. Maybe no, we actually want something like 400 maybe. Yeah, there you go. Now we are able to see Doge and all their candidates for that are running for presidents. So we have Doge, we have Olin Johnson and Grumpy Cat, and now the thing that we want to do, finally, that we have like the style for each one of the candidates almost done. We want to learn how to update information on Next.js so we can handle all this stuff and use it on our side, right? So remember that we were taking a look inside server-side components and client components. This one right here is not handling any information, or actually this page.tsx is not handling any information. Like all the buttons that we're using are inside of our card one, right? So because we're handling things on the card, we want to actually use the use kind keyword right here. So we want to go inside of our component.tsx and we want to use the useClient keyword. And now that we have used useClient, now we should be able to do everything of the buttons on our side. But when we are trying to handle the page information, instead of having this information right here, we want to actually fetch something right up instead of using this. So for doing that, let's just go here, quit this also, and And give me just 1 minute so I can check out what is going on here. Check the blah, 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 section for more information. A tip? What is going on here? Section, flags, okay, yeah, we don't have any problems there. Candidates info, maybe a for each? No, because for each one of them, we want to do something with them. Here, maybe. Okay, let's see. Okay, nope. Yeah, actually, we are doing everything correctly. Okay, cool. So now, how do we fetch data from the server, or how does Next.js handle fetching data from the server, right? So now let's just go into our notion that if you are just getting into the stream, let me pass to you this notion that we have right here, so you can check it out. And let me send again. When with keyword, what do you mean? Uh, what do you mean with keyword? You mean like the tailwind property that we use, or what? Oh yeah, the keyword, the use client keyword. You mean this one, right? Yeah, we use clients so we can say that one component is going to be a client-side component instead of a server-side component. So yeah, pretty much we're just using use clients, so we don't need to worry about anything on this, on the part that is going to handle the interaction with the user. And this component is actually handling interaction with the user because each time that the button is clicked, we're going to do something with that, and we're going to insert more things right there, right? But this part, this component is doing nothing with the client. It's just like setting up what are we going to try to get from the server in the site. So we're going to bring a div, a section, and also we're going to bring more stuff like H1s and more things like the card ones, right? So yeah, we're just going to continue with this. We're going to say right now that for each one of these, I'm sorry, I think I'm tripping. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, we're just going to now to learn how to fetch data from the server, right? So to do that, let's get into our Notion and let's go into documentation and get in the Next.js by Vercel page. So you can check out Next.js and let's get into docs and let's get into data fetching, caching, and all stuff that, right? So on the server with fetch. Let's just get this out. So give me 1 second so I can submit this a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Next.js actually doesn't use something like user state or something like that, because those are things that we are going to be handling on the client side. But instead of doing that, we're going to use the native Fetch Web API. That is the web API of Fetch that all the pages can use in all the browsers. Like, this Fetch thing. I think we're not seeing this. Where is it? Where is? Oh yeah, and this is in Spanish. So sorry. Yeah, but pretty much we're just going to use the vanilla fetch from JavaScript that we're going to use that is going to allow us to configure the caching and revalidating behavior for each fetch request on the server. And React extend fetch to automatically memorize fetch requests while rendering a React component tree. So we can use fetch with async await and server components in route handlers and server actions. So for example, this at that page.tx, we're going to use an async function that is going to be called get data, and get data is actually going to start a new constant that is going to be a response. And we're going to await to fetch something from an API, right? And if the response is okay, if it's not okay, we're going to throw a new error. But if it is okay, we're going to return a response.json. So whenever we get that, we can just fetch the data with another constant when we're rendering our page with saying constant data is going to be equal to await get data function, right? And we're going to just call data so you can fetch all the stuff that we're going to be using right here, right? So we're going to copy and paste this part that says async function get data, and we're going to return to our page right here. Yep, this is just Vanilla.js. Like the fetch part is on Vanilla.js. We're not touching any weird stuff from Next.js, like the server actions or things like that. We're just trying to understand how server components fetch data from the server. So for example, now that we are here, we're going to have this function that says async function get data. And instead of having information like this, just for this example, let's just use the classic Pokemon API. Pokemon API. Poke API, and yeah, let me just get here, right here, and Poke API. Okay, so we have already our Poke API data with a Ditto. Let me pass you the URL from the API so you can fetch it out. And okay, now that we are here, pretty much we're just using this Pokemon API URL so we can fetch information from a Pokemon called Ditto. And give me 1 minute so I can quit all these comments. And yeah, pretty much if the data is good and everything doesn't have any problem, we're going to return the response.json. And for getting that data, we're just going to add a new constant called data, and we're going to call get data, but we need to use an await right here. And we're receiving an error because we can only use await from async functions. So for doing that, we need to go here, and as you can see here, we're using a export default async function page, but instead of exporting like just the function page, we're going to add the async keyword to the start of the name of our function. Like right here, like async function home is going to be able to use data, right? So now we're just going to use console.log data. Data, there we go. So if we get back here inside of our page and give me just 1 minute so I can share my screen really quick and share my full screen. There we go. You should be seeing it right now, I think. Yeah, like this. Okay, so now we go and inspect this out a little bit. And if we go here, and we try to console.log our data. Oh yeah, it is actually not going to be here. It's going to be in our console right here, I think. Yep, there you go. We have all the information from the server right here. We have all the Pokemon information right already fetched up. It should be seen in our terminal. And why in our terminal is because the server is actually the one who is running all the stuff. And with all the stuff, I mean our page and our application or our next application. So as we can see here, we have all the information of the JSON that we have just fetched from the Pokemon API. So we have like forms, we have the game indexes, the Pokemon information. So we go and try to check out like the stats of types or things like that. Where's his names? Species. Oh yeah, there you go. If we go to species, we're going to see Ditto and the URL of the Pokemon species. And also we have the name of Ditto. And if we want to check out like the information that we're fetching, like for example, the default front image that we are seeing from Ditto, we should be able to see just like that. All right. So with that said, let me go back and share my screen of my Pokemon API. I'm sorry, of my Git spaces. So, okay, we have handle to get data from the server. So what now? How are we going to be able to update information? to our database and which database are we going to use. Okay, so we have three options right now. The first one is using a database called, well, just using some, whatever database you want, like MongoDB or anything that you want. But in this case, we're going to use another thing that is super cool called Upstash. So give me just 1 minute. So Upstash. So we can check a little bit more of the information that Upstash has for us. So make a little bit zoom here. You should be able to see it right now. Okay, cool. So, so yeah, pretty much we're going to use Upstash. Upstash is a serverless data platform that we're going to be using right now for handling like almost real-time information in our serverless database with Redis API in this case. And as you can see here, Upstash has a lot of commands a week and also a lot of Kafka messages and all and uptime and things like that, right? So the cool thing about Upstash is that it is serverless and it is on the server, right? So we can just request or make requests to the APIs by installing, first of all, Upstash information, declaring a new Redis database, passing our token, and set information inside of our Redis API or database that we're going to be using right now, right? So the first thing that we're going to be using is just click in this login button, and I already have something already done. Uh, Give me just 1 second so I can log in. 1 second and okay. This API was just only used for demonstrating how we fetch information on Next.js, but we're not going to use this API. It was just for demo purposes, you know. So yeah, pretty much we just used it for understanding how we fetch data on the server side from Next.js or server side components. We fetch data differently on client side components, but we're not going to check that up right now. So yeah, pretty much we're going to use Upstash so we can use Upstash as our main database. And we're also going to use Upstash so we can check out the documentation of it. So give me just 1 second so I can make this up right here and view one more zoom. Let me know if that is enough soon. Okay, so give me just 1 second so we can get into our documentation right here. And okay, so let's just start a new serverless Reddit. So for creating a new database, we're just going to go here and click on create database. And I already have a new database already created. So what you want to do is just click here and create database and select the Redis option. All right. So we can see it right here. I just click on the create database option and ask for a name, for a type. In this case, it's going to be the one that is going to be by default. The region, select whatever region that is nearest to you, and just select on create. And that should be it. Like you should be using whatever you want. So yeah, pretty much we're going to connect to our database. And please select the free tier. Don't select any other tier that appears there. You don't need a credit card or whatever you want to use. We're just going to use a free tier that is going to allow us to read and write information inside of our database. All right. So yeah, let's just continue with this and let's go here into our database. And as you can see here, we have some passports, some ports, and all the stuff that we're going to be using. And in this part of connect to your database, you're going to see that we have a Redis CLI. So we can check out that database. And let's just copy this up and go here inside of our code spaces. And let's add a new thing called environment. So we use that to specify the keys that we're going to be using um, inside of our page. And also let's modify our git ignore so we can add that variable, so we can ignore the .m variable that we're going to be using. And we're going to select something right here. So give me just 1 second so I can add a new constant, like constant database URL. And let's first add this to here, database URL. It's going to be equal to something like this. And we should be ready to go right now. So okay, so right now in our M, we already have our database URL, and because we already have our database URL, we are going to go back here and import the database URL that we're going to be using, right? So we're going to use another constant called const database URL is going to be something, but that something is going to come from our environment. So add a database URL, fetch a variable from the .md file. Give me just 1 second so we can use .md and just use accept and let's say blah 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 would the string always. What? Okay, let's just add. I'm sorry, this is just TypeScript weird stuff that we're facing right now. So okay, we are instead of doing require.env, require import .env config. Give me just 1 second. Okay, yeah, so we're going to modify this. So instead of doing this, we're going to say import dot, I'm sorry, import .env from .env. So for doing that, we're going to say import .env from .env and .env.config. And should this be just a constant? Okay, so I think we should install .env then. npm install .env. Let's see if it is already installed. .env. Okay, yeah. So it is .env from .env and then do .env config. And why are we using .env? .env is I'm sorry, my dog is going super crazy right now. Give me just 1 second. Yep, we're going to be using Redis so we can see everything like almost in real time, like all the voting information that we're going to be fetching from the database. But give me just 1 second because my dog is going super crazy right now. Okay, give me 1 minute. I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, let's just continue with this. So again, why are we using .env? We're using so sorry. We're using .env because we actually want to fetch the variable that we declare on our .env file. So we want to use our .env file, but we're not going to access to that variable like automatically or directly. So we want to use the .env library so we can just config our environment and set into process all of our .env keys that we're going to be using. So we're going to say that we're going to start a new constant that is going to be called database URL. It is going to be a string, and we're going to say that process.env.database URL is going to be equal to database URL, right? So let me just correct with Copilot this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're just going to assert that this is going to be always on the string. So we're going to add to say that this is going to be either process.amb.database URL, and if it doesn't have that database.url, we're going to say that it's going to be an empty string, so we don't have any problem while fetching this. And while we fetch that, we're just going to try to make a console log of this data, and let's try to see if this actually is working correctly by going into npm and go until the end, till the end of this stuff. So we have an error invalid URL. So we have ready this blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, this is because this is actually not the connection that we want to use. This is just the database that we use from the Redis CLI, right? So yeah, pretty much we are just going to go into our upsteps documentation again, and we're going to try to connect our database. So for connecting our database, we're going to refer to our client, right? So from the Redis CLI, it becomes a package that we're going to be using for the official distribution, and uh, we're going to create some stuff that we're going to be using, right? So let's just try to read a little bit here. So it says you can connect to your database with any Redis client. For simplicity, we will use Redis CLI, right? Redis CLI tool in this guide, but please refer to connect your client section for more about connecting via Redis clients. So Redis CLI comes from package with the official Redis distribution. If you do not have Redis installed, you can get it described as Redis Quick Start. So let's just get into Redis Quick Start so we can um, develop with Redis. And yeah, Robin is super crazy right now. I don't know why it is like so crazy, like always in the night. Well, I do know, like he was asleep all day. Like he was just sleeping. Like Robin is like I said in the previous streams, Robin is a cat. Like no one knows, but Robin is actually a cat. I don't know why, but he is. Okay, so yeah, let's just continue with this. Um, so pretty much we're going to install our database, but for installing that, we actually need to install Redis. So for installing Redis in our computer, we want to go here and do quick starts and connecting CLI into this. So for doing that, we want to actually install Redis CLI in Ubuntu, right? So let's just type install Redis CLI Ubuntu so we can start this. So for doing that, let's just follow this guide right here. It says you can install recent stable versions of Redis stack from official packages like redis.io apt repository. So let's just copy and paste all this stuff that we're going to use. So we can say sudo apt get update and apt install Redis stock server. All right, so let's just go here and go into Bash. And again, let me pass you the URL that we're going to be using right now. So here's the link that we're going to be using for installing Redis. And the only thing that we're going to be using is just copy and pasting all of these commands that we're going to paste inside of our terminal. So yeah, pretty much just allow this and paste. And a lot of the stuff is going to be done right now. So don't worry about all the things that we're going to be checking out. The only thing that we need to care right now is how we can run all the stuff, right? So, okay, so right now we should be ready to go, I think. Let's just call redis.cli. So let's see, okay, so OS maybe? Could not connect to Redis, connection refused. Uh, okay, couldn't connect to Redis, that would have no blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me go here and check out this, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, we need to do Redis server, right? So we need to go here and just paste this up and say Redis server. And Redis is going to start running. Cool. So Redis is running right now. So we have, I'm sorry, my dog is going crazy. Okay, so that's after installing all the stuff, the only thing that you need to run is this command, Redis server. And after doing Redis server, you should be seeing everything that we are going to be doing right now. So, oh my God, Robin is crazy. So sorry for that. My dog is going super crazy. But yeah, pretty much we already have our server initialized. So why do we need our Redis server? We need our Redis server so we can get inside Redis and so we can get our service of Redis running inside of our machine. But now we want to access to the client of Redis. So we want to get into another terminal, and inside that terminal, we want to get inside Redis CLI. So for doing that, we should run Redis CLI. And now, ta-da, we're inside of our Redis CLI. So now we're able to get our server running. And again, the only thing that we did was getting inside this link that I pasted on the chat, install all the command, install Redis by running all the commands that we have right there. And after installing all this stuff, we need to open a new terminal. Oh, I'm sorry, just use the same terminal and run a Redis server. And after running our server, open a new bash and run the Redis CLI, so we can get into our Redis CLI. Cool. So now let's just continue with this. And once we are on our Redis CLI, we should be able to just connect to our database by connecting with our client and just copy and pasting um, by just getting here, right? So we have our Redis CLI right here. Redis Big Star, blah blah blah, metrics and charts. Okay, yeah, cool. So let me just go again into Upstash and copy this and getting here into my server. Let me just Control C and copy and paste this. The phase. Okay, cool. So now we are on our into our Redis CLI inside our Redis database connected to Upstash. So now we are able to get data inside of our database, so we can start typing stuff, so we don't have any kind of problems. So let's use something like set counter, and let's set our counter to 0, for example, so we can initiate that. And let's now get our counter. So now counter is 0, and if we go into our Upstash page, we should be seeing that, where are you? Did we have like metrics or something? CLI, current price, blah, blah, blah. Usage. Okay, yeah, so now we are able to set information inside of our database. And if we do counter, now we have incremented the value of counter. So we are now able to increment data so we can see if our data has increased recently. So let's see if it has. So pretty much it doesn't, it hasn't been used a lot right now. So, yep, unfortunately, we have just 5 minutes, so we can continue with our REST API thing. But until now, in this session, we have learned Tailwind, we had learned Flexbox, and also we had learned how to initiate Redis inside of our CLI. So unfortunately, we were not able to finish this workshop, but fortunately, this workshop is inspired in one of the coolest YouTubers that exists there. So in your Notion, if you go in your main page to the database page, you have one link to Joe's Tried Coding YouTube channel, so you can check out Joe's Tried Coding, all the videos that he has. So if you go into Joe Tried Redis, I'm sorry, Upstash, you're going to see all the information Joe that Josh has. So you can check out all the information. All this stuff is fully inspired into the Josh Stride Upstash application of the beautiful scalable real-time voting app with Next.js 14. So please go check it out. If you want to keep up with Upstash and all the information that that Josh has, please check it out. It is super cool. What he's doing in this application is just having like a brain uh, a map, a word map that is the equivalent of checking out all the words that you have inside one database and making them in a map so you can check them out. And it is super cool. Please check it out. It is one of the coolest things that you're going to check out
comment
right
in Reels
here.
also connected.
And pretty
And
much
if you together, or you
it
could
shows
also
you how to install
start
things in
and
Next.js, how
print
to initiate a new
from below the
application,
p tag,
how
above
to
the
install
closing.
all of
We
this
do
stuff
want to
right here. Please
reorient it
go check it
to
out.
other users and
And
so on
kudos
in
to
real time,
Josh
and
for
also
making
maintain.
awesome stuff. I really love his content. And again, you have all the information right here. Here's the Josh main channel link and also the video link here. So yep, if you want to continue with this workshop, just go check out the Josh video.
Is
It is
the
super cool. It
distribution.
is super
How
detailed.
does
Please
one message
just
get sent
go there
to the
and check
other
it out.
users, like
For
user 2
me, it
or
was everything that I got, and I didn't have enough time to show you all the amazing things that we were going to use because we check up a lot of things. We check introduction to JavaScript, introduction to React, introduction to TypeScript. Also, we check up a lot of CSS introductions. Also, we check up what Next.js was, folder structure. So it would take us a lot more of time to check up all the things that we were going to check up before finishing this, right? So I'm so sorry if I didn't have enough time. Also, we talk a lot about Indian food, about tacos, about dishes. I learned a lot about Indian food, so I love that. I love that I learned a lot of Indian dishes. And yeah, pretty much we are a foodie community. We are a foodie hacker community. So if you want to keep talking about foodie, about food, about dishes, about Mexican food, please send me a message on. Um, so to close Redis, we just need to click on Control C or Control C, like C or C, and if that doesn't work, just kill your terminal. And after killing the terminal, you should be able to be free of all the resource consuming. And I'll be seeing you in 4 hours, I think, because we have another workshop to talk about cryptocurrencies and also to talk about Streamlit and also to talk about how we can use Streamlit to check out and track all of the information from cryptocurrencies that we're going to be using in our applications. So pretty much if you want to learn how to use Python to check out and track all of the cryptocurrency prices to build an awesome dashboard with Streamlit, join me 4 hours and I'll be seeing you there. So thanks so much for being here and I'll see you next time. See ya. Bye.